Hey guys, it's Charles Osterlund here with Liquid Blue Cabarete in Cabarete, Dominican Republic. And today I thought I would do a video back to basics on how to pump up your wing. I know a lot of people like to see me working, so I decided to pump up the biggest wing we have here in Cabarete, which is a 7 meter. This is an F1 strike. And basically, when pumping up your wing, it's pretty simple. All you're gonna need is your wing, you're gonna need your handy pump, and then you're gonna need some space. So since this is a 7 meter, I'm gonna wanna make sure I have enough space to get this out. It's also good I take these out once in a while to pump it up. We don't really use the 7 meter too much in Cabarete. You can tell it's still a little bit wet from our last session. But all right, so I wanna put my bag down, and then basically, when you're pumping up your wing, you wanna find an area where there's also nothing that could potentially damage it, the material, so nothing sharp or even trees around you that it can get caught, rip the material, damage it. And another thing is that you want to note is where's the wind coming from. So there's some places in the world where you have a nice wind shadow where there's no wind at all. You see here, I leave the wing on the sand and it doesn't blow away. But if I was right next to the shoreline, this wing will be taken by the wind. So when you're pumping up, what you want to do is identify where's the wind coming from. Generally at Cabarete, the wind is coming from the east and coming towards shore, side on. So with that, I want to position myself with the wind to my back. So now I have the wind to my back. There will be a little bit of turbulence here though for where we are, but I'm gonna want to spread out my wing. It's a little bit sandy right now because of the water. I'm gonna want to close up any of the valves that it has. In these F1s, it's a one pump system, so all I'm gonna have to do is inflate it through here, and I also deflate it through here. But I need to close this one dump valve, which basically helps get rid of the air, because this is a larger wing. So I'm just gonna close this up. So now we got that, and then here I just have to press the button out, so it's good. Make sure I don't have any sand on my hose. Pop it in. Now that's secured. On all the pumps, you have a leash that will attach to somewhere on the wing just so it doesn't fly away if the wind does take it. And now this is sort of the warm-up, this is the workout before we go out winging. So we're gonna do this. We're probably gonna fast forward it a little bit. And then what I'll show you in the end is how to secure your wing to an object, whether it's your foil, whether it's, in this case, a beach chair. Now you could attach it to a tree, but you want to secure it once you pumped it up. Of course, if there's a wind shadow and you're certain there's no wind that comes in there, then you can leave it by itself or throw some sand on it or leave something on it to weigh it down. But if there is wind, you're gonna want to secure it, and you're gonna want to secure it properly so that you don't damage it as well. I've seen a lot of people that attach it to a part on the foil. The wind pulls the wing, pulls the foil right onto the wing, rips the wing. So that's one way of ruining a session before even starting it. But all right, let me just get to pumping this and warming up. One note I could do though with pumping, as you can tell, I really secure my feet onto the pump, and then I wanna keep my arms almost to the point where they're gonna be going down straight, and keeping my back also in a position where I'm not putting it in any uncomfortable way. If I'm bending over, and then I'm also sort of like squatting over it or squatting a bit on a weird angle, then I could damage the pump. I could also hurt myself. So I literally want to be just going straight up and down and maintaining a rhythm that is manageable. So I'm using my arms. All right. You can tell at this point, you start getting a little bit tired. Takes a little bit more pressure to get it going. All these valves, or all these struts, inflate by themselves. Now I want to know what recommended PSI I need. So here it says recommended PSI of 8. Usually somewhere where you're inflating is going to tell you. Right now I'm at 5.5. I'm gonna make my way up. 6. 8. All right, so once at 8, if you're just starting out, you could leave it here. Generally speaking, I want to make sure my wings are nice and rigid. So I always pump it up 1 or 2 PSI more than the recommended. You can tell I'm a little bit out of breath. Need to get back in shape here. All right, so I'm just gonna bring it up to 9. All right, 9 PSI. Now that I'm ready to go, you're gonna wanna unplug the valve. As you can tell, the air stays in. Close it up. Make sure it's locked. Once I take off the leash, I make sure I have one hand on the wing. And now what I'm gonna do is secure it. When securing the wing, sometimes people will just leave it like this and lay something on top of it right here, which works out. There's some people who also have it in a bit of a side angle, so the wind sort of blows over it. But generally speaking, I leave it always downwind from the wind, and I'll attach it to an object up front here. All right, so with the leash, you can attach it to anything. Now, if I was gonna have my board, I'll just go grab a board real quick. As you can tell, there's no wind, so I'm just gonna leave the shot. I'll be right back in. All right, so here I got my board. Now let's say that the wind's coming from behind me, blowing down this way. I'm gonna wanna have the wing downwind of the board. And when I'm gonna wanna attach it, there's different things you can do. So here I like to bring it nice and close to whatever I'm tying it to, so it has the least possible sort of slack. And then I'm just gonna wanna pull this through. Well, actually we could just attach it right here. Attach like this. So this is one way of attaching it. Of course, if it's stronger wind, the wing is gonna blow away and go as far as it can. It will still be able to hold here, but if it's very strong, you're gonna wanna secure it so that it stays nice and close to whatever object it is that you're attaching it to. This is one way of doing it if you have a board leash where you can attach it. Also, sometimes people will attach it right behind on the foil. I'm not sure if we catch this on video, but we attach it right on the foil, right back here. This technique can work, but sometimes the wind is very strong. Believe it or not, it can pull the board, and then from there, anything can happen. So all you want to do is make sure that wherever you tie it down, you secure it well. If it's windier, make sure you secure it very well, and if it's less windy, then you have more room to play. As you can tell right here, it's pretty light. This wing that's been in the video the whole time right behind me probably hasn't moved at all, and we attach it to a beach chair. So all you want to do, remember, one, pumping up your gear, pump it up, make sure everything's good, put it somewhere where it's nice and safe, outside the sun ideally, and also in reality, I would only want to pump up my wings if I'm going to go use it. If I'm not going to use it, I'm going to want to deflate it and put it back in its bag until I'm going to use it. Leaving it out in the sun, leaving it out in the wind will damage it over time. This material, if you come from a kiteboarding background, I believe even windsurfing material damages over time, but this material, this fabric, will damage with UV rays as well as it being sandblasted. That's just like rubbing sandpaper across it or rocks or anything like that. So remember, you want to take care and protect your equipment. So just whenever you're pumping it up, make sure that you pump it up in an area where it's nice, safe, free from any sort of debris on the floor that could damage it. And then on top of that, when you're tying it down, whether it's to a board, whether it's to a palm tree, whether it's to a chair, make sure that also, in case it was pulled, what's around it so that it doesn't get damaged any further if it does blow away, if it does move a little bit, and also that it doesn't get damaged by the foil. But in any case, guys, that was just a little quick demo, how to pump up your gear, and then also how to set it down, how to wrap it up. You guys know how to do that. You've seen in a lot of the videos that we've done. And maybe one day we'll make a video on how to wrap up your wing. It won't be this one, but I'm gonna leave it with that, guys. My name is Charles Osterlund with Liquid Blue Cabarete in Cabarete, Dominican Republic. And if you already have any questions, thoughts, comments, if you ever wanna come down here, all of our contact information is down below. So make sure to contact us if you're ever coming down. Come by, say hi, or message us before so we know we can meet up. In any case, Today is a great day, soon to be. We're a little bit early on the beach, but the wind will be coming in and it's gonna be a nice day. So welcome to paradise, and I'll leave you with a view of the bay.